Here's your music and gear news for May 11th, 2020. Let's check that out. Just a quick note about the channel. I do music and gear news every Monday. Here's a link to last week's news if you want to go check that out. It's going to be just a smattering of things I find interesting on various music websites. Everything from gear, like guitars and hardware, to software. I'm a film music guy, so I try to find a lot on virtual instruments and plugins, and I try to find some freebies every week. Because who doesn't like free stuff? So anyways, let's get to the news. MusicRadar is continuing their series where they do 5 songs producers, guitar players, musicians, whoever need to hear by ... fill in band or artist here. This week they're doing 5 songs producers need to hear by Kraftwerk. Following the sad death of founding member Florian Schneider, here are 5 Kraftwerk songs you really should check out if you want to understand why the German electronic outfit are considered to be one of the most influential bands of all time. I won't spoil the list here. Links to all these are down below as usual, so go check those out if you want to see the full list, including, I believe there were YouTube links to some of the songs that they talk about. Pibox helps audio production teams collaborate remotely. The idea behind Pibox is that it could be thought of as 1 part Dropbox, 1 part communications platform, and 1 part to-do list. When a team member uploads a track, its waveform is visualized, which can then be commented upon, highlighted, and marked. Kind of like in SoundCloud, where you can drop pins and say, "Nice track, bro." That kind of stuff, but a lot more detailed. This follows specific sections in a track which might have mix issues or choppy edit to be marked and focus on. Pibox keeps a mix version history, which could be especially handy with projects where numerous revisions are required. Pibox also packs several tools for managing the business end of the project, including budget tracking for individual projects and the ability to bring in external collaborators with custom settings on their access and communications. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, like Dropbox with waveform. So that sounds pretty cool, especially right now when a lot of people are probably collaborating remotely, and probably keep that going so you can continue collaborating remotely. MusicRadar has the ultimate Jimi Hendrix rhythm guitar chord lesson. This was a big article. There was a lot of stuff there, so this is only a fraction of what was covered there, but you can master Jimi's thumb over the neck and finger bari chord techniques, plus his approach to funk rock. The topics include Jimi's clean rhythm style, minor chord shapes, instant Hendrix chord progression, Jimi's passing bass notes, playing loose and tight, and single note rhythm riffs, and so much more. There was a lot on there, so go check out that. Again, links to all this down below in the description. Herndon and Mat Dryhurst start a new podcast, Interdependence. The show will put individuals from music, technology, and politics into the spotlight of electronic avant-garde composer Holly Herndon and collaborator Mat Dryhurst. And Holly and Matt are starting this podcast from their Berlin studio and will focus on music, technology, and politics. Hopefully more towards the music and technology. There's too much politics already, but if you're into that, maybe this podcast will be for you. But Interdependence will be a conversation with figures at the center of music, technology, and policy. You can listen to and support the podcast through a dedicated Patreon page. A monthly subscription isn't required to listen to the episodes, but becoming a Patreon will give you access to exclusive shows and progress reports with 2 Patreon models available. Actually, I take a little bit about what I said about politics. Hopefully it's not non-music related politics. I know there's a lot going on with performance rights organizations here in the States as far as like discovery networks not wanting to pay royalties out to composers, things like that. If it's that kind of politics, then I'm all for it, and that should be brought up more so that some changes can happen there, and let artists and composers continue to get paid like they should. In the last few of these news segments, I've focused a lot on guitar and bass, so I wanted to do something with drums this time. So over at MusicRadar, there is Vic Firth is hosting a star-studded brush masterclass. So if you're into playing the drum set, surely you've played around with some brushes, especially if you studied at university and had to do some jazz stylings. But featuring Stanton Moore, Peter Erskine, Stephen Smith, Dave Wecky, Jojo Mayer, and Russ Miller. The virtual clinic took place as a live stream on Vic Firth's YouTube channel yesterday. This was actually a couple of days ago, last week sometime. Hosted by Florian Alexandru Zorn, and each drummer shared their brush patterns while discussing their approach to playing with brushes and the brush players who influenced them. In addition to the masterclass, Vic Firth is also running a competition to win a pair of brushes, plus a set of signature sticks from each of the artists featured in the video. To enter, you simply post a video of yourself playing something you've learned from the masterclass using brushes, accompanied by the hashtag VFBrushMasters. The winners will be chosen at random from the qualifying posts, so don't forget that hashtag, and that will take place on May 15th. A new expressive instrument, Striso Board, hits Kickstarter. Arriving on Kickstarter this week is an instrument that's been in the works for almost 6 years and is already nearing its funding goal after just a few days. Striso Board is an expressive MPE controller / instrument that not only allows you to get more creative with your performance, but also helps you understand musical structures. The most obvious thing about the Striso board is the sea of 61 silicone buttons. Should be a picture popping up here next to me if it hasn't already of this thing. It does look pretty cool. It's very, I don't know, I guess you could say avant-garde, because it's a block of wood with, well, you see it. It's right there. But anyways, go check out the article on that. They're trying to hit their goal by May 31st, and this is all in pounds, so they are currently at 10,353, which is about halfway to their goal of 21,874 pounds. Again, check the article, go check out the Kickstarter, watch some videos, see if it's something that interests you. MusicRadar has an article on the 8 best high-end studio monitors of 2020, professional studio speakers for musicians and producers. This is another pretty lengthy article. They cover monitors on a budget, professional quality. They talk about a little bit of sound theory as far as two monitors versus 3 monitors. So check the article out for that. But anyways, they have a list for produce for less with the best budget studio monitors. Check out our roundup of the best across the range studio monitors, the best audio interfaces you can buy right now, best headphones for music production, which I believe I did a video on not too long ago, and explore the best laptops for music production. It's basically a bunch of music production lists with, I'm sure, affiliate links galore on that, but go check all that out because it was a pretty good article, especially if you were in the market for a good pair of monitors. Okay, my favorite part of the Monday news and gear roundup is the freebies of the week. I always love free stuff, so this is fun for me. But the Guitar Pro app is free for a limited time. The Guitar Pro app is currently free for Android and Apple mobile users via the iOS and Google Play stores. It allows players to view and play sheet music and tablature that has been created using Guitar Pro tab editing software for Windows and Mac. Some features are tab, slash, and standard notation, compatible with My Songbook portal to sheet music, which is a monthly subscription and single buying. You can switch between dark and light viewing modes. I know that's an iOS thing, maybe it's a Google thing too. I actually really dig that. I have that on the laptop that's recording this right now. You can load files via Wi-Fi and web browser, iTunes, and email. There's an integrated sheet music library with search, filter, and favorites, and a ton of other things. So go check out that if you want to up your guitar playing game. Okay, and finally, something that's a little more in my neck of the woods. Spitfire Audio's new $49 BBC Symphony Orchestra Discover plugin is free if you're willing to wait for it. As soon as I saw this article earlier, I paused putting these notes together, went and signed up. So look for a video on the BBC Symphony Orchestra Discover in 2 weeks, because that's the catch with this. You can either pay $50 now and get it, or you can fill out a survey, which wasn't that bad. It took me 5 minutes. And in 2 weeks, they'll send you the download for it. Not sure why they make you wait 2 weeks. I guess just so people that are willing to pay the $50 can have it now. But anyways, you complete a questionnaire and it can be yours for nothing in 14 days. Best known for its high-end orchestral sample library, Spitfire Audio has announced BBC Symphony Orchestra Discover, an affordable plugin that offers 35 instruments for $49. However, if you're willing to complete a questionnaire and wait 14 days for delivery, you can have it for free. The cool thing about this library is it's actually it's a small footprint. It'd be great for a travel rig because it comes in at 200 megabytes, and the little demo video they have for it, it's pretty good. It's not as good as its big brother, of course, but it's for what's essentially a free library. It's really good, especially with all the other freebies I've been featuring lately. Couple that with the Striso freebies, and you've got a pretty good orchestra going on, a pretty good template. But anyways, you get 47 articulations and a single professionally mixed signal, all controllable from a simple interface. Spitfire has also announced the BBC Symphony Orchestra Core, which is the mid-range library in the BBC Symphony Orchestra line, which comes in at $449. There's also its really big brother, the full BBC Symphony Orchestra, which I believe is somewhere close to the $1,000 range. But check Spitfire Audio's website for more information on that. This is really just about that $49, which is really free, because who won't wait 2 weeks for a really cool symphony orchestra library by one of the top players right now. Well, that's it for this week. Like I said at the beginning, I do music and gear news every week. I just scour the internet looking for interesting stories and topics that I want to share, and I put them on here. I also do reviews on mostly free things that I find. I figure right now is a good time. Everybody's stuck inside. Go make some music, so I try to find free plugins and free VST software and virtual instruments and all that to share with you guys. And I also dabble around with some other things like composing in the style of Danny Elfman. There'll be, I'm sure, cards and all that popping up here left and right. So anyways, we will see you on the next one.